So, Mr. Ferriss.
We're good.
So, hey, David Gonzalez here, and what's your name?
Tim Ferriss.
What's your name? No, so I just wanted to ask you a couple. The question I wanted to ask you yesterday is, I mean, you do a lot of different things. Like, what really inspires you and motivates you? Like, keep doing more.
Continual learning. Just I would say it's the rate of learning. So, on one level, it's getting to like the 95th percentile in as many skills as I can. So what that means is I would spend like a year deep diving in a given foreign language, let's say, but then I will generally not spend the next 10 years focusing on that language to get incrementally better past that point and move on to something else. So I think that's how I approach most things. I enjoy the learning process so much that when the learning curve flattens out a bit, I tend to move on to something else. So I just enjoy it. I think at school, at heart, I'm still sort of an academic schoolboy. I always actually enjoyed school, and so now that I'm in the real world, I just try to continue the cycle of new subjects. Just enjoy it.
I guess I'm not sure that I really got I mean, I hear what you're saying, which is that you love learning.
So, okay, let me rephrase it. In the process of, let's just say, learning Japanese, okay, as an example, as you put yourself into a state of extreme discomfort with a new skill, which you won't have if it's a somewhat familiar skill, it acts as a mirror and it reflects back on you. So it's very easy to identify your emotional, psychological weaknesses. It becomes a magnifying glass for self-improvement.
So that's what I was looking for. I mean, and I didn't know that's what I was looking for. I just knew that's.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
deep structure.
Right. So I'll give you a very concrete example. I've taken a number of trips recently to Greece, to Turkey, and I've spent the entire time in both those countries studying the languages, so Greek and Turkish. And I have no intention of ever using those languages. I'll forget them within a month of leaving the country. And most people view that as a waste of time, but it makes me a better thinker.
So it's
just exploring that. It's the indirect benefits that are most interesting to me, because I think studying something very specific like Turkish, there are general principles that you can then translate to other things. And the more adaptable you are, I think the more interesting your life becomes. And the more you can expose yourself to different environments and different types of people, and actually enjoy it instead of feeling threatened. I suppose that's an underlying reason.
Again, that's what I was like, and that's what I really wanted to know, and I've been wanting to ask you that for a while.
Cool, yeah. No, that's
another question I wanted to ask you, which came up later.
Hey, can we chill with the music for like 2 more minutes, por favor? Thank you. I really appreciate it.
This is kind of a twofold question.
all right.
What offer of help are you looking for?
What offer of help am I looking for? I mean, really, I think what I'm looking for is I'm jumping into a new area with the book that I've been working on for the last 3 years, which is called, tentatively titled Becoming Superhuman. So it's like a hacker's guide to the human body. It's physical performance, physical appearance, and that's a new. It's not a new subject for me, but in terms of marketing campaigns and launches, it's brand new. So people who can teach me about how to be as effective as possible when it comes out. Just looking to learn as much as possible, and if people have specific skill sets and they're willing to teach me how to best approach it, that's what I'm looking for.
So the thing that popped in my mind as you described that is having some sort of like a community, an online forum or something, where you describe what you already, the areas of expertise that you already have, or the experts that you already have, and then put it out to your network, to your followers, your fan base, to let them know, because there's probably a handful of people.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, do you already have that?
No, so I did that for the content of the book. I had a lot of, actually had about, I'm not kidding, about 500 pages, single-spaced, like 6-point submissions, which was,
so it became
it was a bit overwhelming, but it was an amazing response. But specifically, I mean, right now, my reason for being at the event is to learn and hopefully teach. Tomorrow I'll be talking about the things that I think I'm reasonably good at. But just to learn about this new world, because it's something that I haven't done before. And it's good. It'll be uncomfortable. It'll be a stretch. I didn't want to do the same thing again. I didn't want to do the 3.5-hour work week. It's boring. It's boring for me to write. It's boring for my readers to read. It's not challenging.
So then I'm not sure that I got it's almost similar to like the first question I asked.
Okay.
I don't know that I necessarily have the real essence of what offer of help you're looking for.
No, I'm looking for people to teach me how to launch health, diet, exercise-related products. Because my book, in this case, will be the product. So I'm trying to learn how most effectively to reach, cost-effectively, time-effectively, to reach people who are the audience or potential customers for those types of products.
What's your criteria for those? I mean, how do you know? Because I mean, obviously,
There's a lot of people who can do that here.
Well, right.
So what's your criteria so that if I would have
for the perspective
for I or anyone watching this video, because then that way you don't become overwhelmed. What's your minimum criteria of someone who could do that?
Okay, well I would say it's someone who's been effective in the past. So I'd say someone who's probably sold at least 100,000 units of whatever.
Okay.
It could be one product or a collection of products in that category. So I'm looking for informed advice, in other words.
Right? No, you're not somebody
from people who have done it. It's like I have. You got what I mean.
You were
So-
talking to someone a little bit ago, actually, that is perfect for that.
Yeah. So a lot of experienced people here.
Yeah.
Much better at this, much more experienced than I am, which is exactly why I'm here. That's.
I already have a really kick-ass person in mind. Okay. So that's one of the reasons I asked about the criteria, because I know how much you value your time and your life.
And also, here's another criteria. So, or another criterion would be that there's something that I can offer them. That would be of value to them as well, and it can get very quickly out of hand with that. If you end up indebting yourself to too many people, that's not what I'm looking for. But I'll give you an example. Like if someone were, I'm going to talk a bit about this tomorrow, but if somebody wanted to learn about how to use social media effectively, meaning Facebook, Twitter, blogs, etc., that is something I feel I understand very well. I feel like I'm in the top 1% of the world with that, without any question. And I'll talk about it a bit tomorrow, but I do feel like, as in direct marketing and internet marketing, there are a million ways you can waste your time and your money. I feel like social media is even worse. And I feel like I can help people identify the few moving pieces that they can use and how they can use those to complement, let's say, a campaign or a launch. That's something that I can do very well. So I wouldn't want it to be a one-sided.
Okay. So in a perfect world, if it was somebody who had sold at least 100,000 units in the health, fitness, marketing arena, you would hope that they could use some help in the social media.
Right. Exactly.
As one example, or some other thing.
As one example, because what I don't want to have happen is to feel, whether it's me or someone else, to feel like they've given but they haven't received anything of benefit. It doesn't, because I'll tell you why. It's not entirely altruistic. I mean, it is, because I think it's a fucked up thing to do. Pardon my French, here in Long Island.
Don't worry about it.
I think it's just a fucked up way to lead your life to begin with. But on the flip side, if someone feels slighted, there's nothing good that comes of that. I mean, it's going to come back and it will bite you later.
There's that. What's that idea of reciprocity?
Reciprocity.
Where one person, you'll feel like they'll feel like their deservedness grows and your value diminishes over time.
It's just and the other point is to do it as quickly as possible. And what I mean by that is, I think it's very dangerous, and like you said, it's related to this, to take something from someone and then give them something back like 2 years later, or the other way around, to give someone something and then expect something 2 years later. I think it's asking too much of both sides and of the universe in general, and it's an illusion of control that is going to bite you in the ass. So, you know what I mean? So, for example, and I'll give you a very concrete example of how this can be a bad thing. If someone does you a favor, and then you let it marinate for a year and a half, 2 years, they're going to have a lot. There's probably going to be some resentment, and their expectation of you is going to be 10x what it was to begin with. And they're going to come back and they may ask you for something. In my particular example, like people ask me for book blurbs or forwards, even though I have a policy that I don't do those because I've been burned too many times. And they'll feel really upset if I have to say no to that after them having done me a favor 2 years before. So I'd much rather say, okay, before you do anything for me, what do you need? What can I help with? Because I want this to be super transparent from the very outset. I don't want there to be any misunderstandings. Life's too short. It's just not worth it. And if maybe that means, at the end of the day, that might mean, let's just say hypothetically, I don't think this is the case, but let's just say that I talk to 10 people here, and ultimately what they want is like a blurb or a book endorsement, and I can't do that. It might mean that at the end of the day, I don't do anything with anybody here. But, I'm in Austin, that's fine. I like Josh, I like a lot of the guys here I'm at. That's fine. It's better than trying to force fit something or offering false promises and having it implode, because it will. And there's an expression I'm very fond of, which is friends come and go, but enemies accumulate. And it's just not worth it. It's not worth shortchanging people, and that is a perception. So even if you deliver, according to you, a tremendous amount of value in return, if they view it as shortchanging, then it's shortchanging. They've been shortchanged, and you'll suffer the consequences of that. So it's very important, I think, that both sides have a very clear understanding of what they're both deciding. So,
do you happen to have
answer?
That, no, it's an excellent killer answer. Do you happen to have any formal structure around how you do that?
I don't. Not at this point. I mean, just living in the blog world for the most part in the last few years.
You know what I mean by how you do that? What that is?
I think so. Like any type of joint venture.
How you make it clear that.
I don't have any forms, but I will almost always put it in writing. In an email, but it's not contractual. It wouldn't be contractual. It would be just making sure there is no room for misunderstanding.
How do you know that you haven't left no room for misunderstanding?
I think that the way that you avoid misunderstanding is by discussing the hypothetical worst case outcomes. So,
okay,
all right.
How do you bring those up? Like,
just bring them up.
Elephant in the room.
Yeah, you just bring them up just really directly. And I mean, the way I would bring it up is I would say, this is just how I like to think through things. The last thing I want to do, money's not that important to me. To have another enemy for a stupid reason is silly. Either way. So let's just run through a couple of the ways this could go wrong. Let's just talk about a couple of the ways this thing could go totally sideways, and one or both of us could end up really pissed off for whatever reason. And then you're like, okay, who knows? Hypothetically, you decide to help me. Like, you email your list, you don't sell a single copy, right? And like, I guaranteed your list an exclusive or something, so I missed this other opportunity. Like, am I prepared to deal with that? And the answer is, yeah, I'm prepared to accept that risk. So like, we can still be friends even if that happens. Okay. Other worst case scenario is, now keep in mind we would have already defined like how I would help you.
Yeah, that's
so it's like if we've already defined that.
Define.
So let's just say that's doing like a VIP group of like 6 people for a day, teaching everything I know about social media. Okay, so that's going to be like how I help out. And so let's say you come to that, you try it, and it doesn't help you. Like, how pissed are you going to be? Like, you have to be honest with yourself, but it's like,
or was it okay that you get to hang out?
I can do my best, but like, let's say you sell a ton of books, and you come to this thing, you try it out, and you're like, nah, this isn't gonna work for me. Is that an acceptable option, right? And if it isn't, like, okay, well maybe we shouldn't do it, because you have to be okay with the worst case scenario. Recognizing that the worst case scenario is, hopefully, if you approach it correctly, somewhat unlikely, right? So you have like super best case scenario, super worst case scenario, you're probably gonna end up somewhere in here, So, but if you're comfortable with the worst case scenario, then the upside takes care of itself. So I always approach things with, I really try to approach things with hoping for the best, but expecting and planning myself, preparing myself rather for the worst. And if you do that, you generally are very content with things.
Generally what?
Very content with outcomes. So when possible, I try to encourage people that I'm going to work with to do the same thing, or if we're considering working together, do the same thing. It doesn't always work, but most of the time it does help.
Well, at the beginning of that question, I said it was a twofold question.
Okay, I'm ready for
Yeah, no,
the second fold.
The second fold is, yesterday when we were doing the mastermind, I had this idea to create. I learned this question of what offer of help are you looking for from this thing called the AJI network. It's I'll tell you more about that later. Yeah.
AJI.
Yeah.
It means flavor in Japanese.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, the reason I brought it up is that I have this idea. One of my passions is really connecting with world-class talent. Because I feel like we've connected now. And to me, I can feel it. You know what I mean? Whenever I have that connection, like chances are you'll remember me in 5 years if I came up to you and said, "Hey, dude," you know. And that's how I kind of want my. So that's my passion, and I've been trying to figure out how to do that because I haven't done anything really super big. I mean, you've done things.
I wrote a book, and stuff happened.
No, but before that, I mean, you went to Princeton, you got all these different. You're a badass marketer, dude. I think. So before someone told me that you said it, I was like, dude, the thing Tim's best at more than anything is he's a marketer. Like,
thank you. I take that as a compliment.
Anything. I mean, like, and that's not to diminish the other shit you've done.
No. I don't take it as that at all.
No, And so my point is, what are your thoughts? Give me some pros and cons on the idea of creating like a platform that's like a membership site where I interview people like world-class talent, however you want to define that, all the TED speakers, the heads of any field, and ask them the question, what offer of help are you looking for? And then allow other people to come and watch the videos and give their, so it becomes like a database of a repository of possible solutions for a badass.
I think Joe Polish would be a good person to talk to about that.
All right.
He would be the one person here that I would really talk to about that. So I think there are a few challenges that would be useful to think about right from the outset. So the first is, how do you prevent these people from being deluged with answers or suggestions or offers to help from people who are not qualified? So the other question you asked me was like, what are the minimum criteria? Is important. The way you could also possibly help prevent problems with that is by having a certain criteria for accepting people into the site to even provide feedback in the first place. I think having commenting and other vehicles by which, much like the TED.com site, people can provide feedback or suggestions without directly contacting the person who's asking or indicating what they would like help with would be very helpful. I think it'd be cool. I mean, I'd check it out. I think it'd be a cool site. I'd definitely check it out. The challenge for you, I think, could be, and we don't know each other that well, but, or I should say, rather, I don't know that much about your background, but is getting the first critical mass. So just like Joe, it's like now, okay, he's interviewed Branson, he's interviewed all these people. So if he contacts someone, he's like, I've interviewed these 12 household names, he's going to get a response most of the time. Right. So it's the first handful of people that are going to be the most challenging, which I think would also be a point that you would want to discuss with Joe.
Do you have any pointers on that? Because you seem to be, that's one of your secret sauce. You seem to be really good at hacking. Like you're a badass marketer and a hacker. I mean, like a life hacker. That's what I think.
Well, thank you. I mean, what I would do is...
Would you concur with that assessment? Like just the big picture assessment?
I like to deconstruct things. Yeah, that's what I do. I deconstruct things and teach them. So I would say that my advice would be to look at a circle, a network of people that you understand that you're part of, like this, and ask yourself, okay, who are the 3 people here? Let's just say that's a circle. Okay, who are the people on the fringe of that circle that also intersect with other circles that you want to interview people from, right? So I'm just trying to think of an example off the bat. So it's like, if if you wanted to, this is pure speculation on my part, but it's like if you wanted to interview models in New York, maybe you wanted to interview like the top catwalk, like Heidi Klum or someone like this. I don't know if she's in New York, I have no idea. I'm just making this up. If you wanted to interview like someone like that, okay, well, who might you go with? Well, like John, Roman over there, Romaniello. So John, I think that's how you say his last name. I made it really dramatic, so it would sound like I was just being dramatic. So in case I'm mispronouncing it, you wouldn't call me on it. But so he's New York, has probably done some modeling, writer, born and raised there. Most likely has either contacts in that world or is 1 degree separate. So you just kind of go through looking at the people here. Where do they live? What are the circles they might intersect with that I don't currently have access to? But you have access to these guys.
Right.
So, and then if you talk to them and you identify, okay, let's just say again, hypothetically, John knows people who are in the modeling or fashion world. Right. And you want, it could be a fashion designer. Who knows? Like it's not. There aren't that many steps. Then maybe your first step, rather than asking John for an introduction, is to interview John. And then
just kind of,
and it's like, well, you know, if it's so cool, why didn't you do it yourself? And in this case, you could say, oh no, I did already. Yeah, check it out. And I think it'll be a slow build. I don't think you go out of the gates, both guns blazing, going after the big names necessarily. I think you start with a few people, and you build it slowly. You don't push too hard. But I do think Joe would be also a very good person to ask about that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no. It's
those
just
are my thoughts for the second film.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, dude, real pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Good stuff.
All right.